You all ready for Bible study? Alright, let's get in it. Let me adjust this real quick for you guys. There we go. One of the most famous stories, the Last Supper. Quite fitting since we're in the quantum physics version of the proposal dinner for the marriage of Christ consciousness. That's pretty cool. Turn that down a little bit. On Thursday, that was the day I was born, the day before Passover, Yahshua sent Peter and John into the city, saying, "Meet a man carrying a pitcher of water. Follow him to his house and say, 'The Master asks, where is the guest chamber where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples?' He will show you a large upper room. There, make ready for us." The disciples went and did as he said. And then, in the evening, Yahshua sat at the supper with them. But the disciples had again been quarreling as to who was the greatest among them. Still worried about status. Does anything ever really change? And should therefore sit nearest to him. Yahshua rose from the table. He poured water into the basin and began to wash the disciples' feet. Peter protested, "Lord, dost thou wash my feet? If I do not wash you, you have nothing in common with me." Yahshua replied, "Lord, not my feet only, then but my hands and my head. After Yahshua sat down again, he said, "Do you realize what I have done? You call me Master and Lord, and I have washed your feet." What he's saying is you look up to me, and yet I praise you. In this, I have given you an example, that you should do as I have done to you. The servant is not greater than his Lord. What he means by that is the servant is equal to his Lord. Do you understand? It's a beautiful concept, quite honestly and humbly made. His disciples looked up to him. So he did something beneath his status in front of all of the chosen people. To cleanse, to heal, and to be an example. One that they should hear and follow. Such a beautiful concept. Peter, unable to bear the suspense, signaled to John, the disciple whom Yahshua loved, asked him who it is. John leaned his head back. He whispered, "Lord, who is it?" "One of whom I give the soap," answered Yahshua, or the sop, or whatever. It's S-O-P, so something like that. It's probably a typo, it's probably not, who knows. Then he gave them each, in turn, a piece of bread and dipped it in the dish of herbs. "Is it I?" they asked. There was silence for a moment. The disciples began to feel very ashamed. Then he spoke with words which cut through their hearts. "One of you will betray me." They looked at one another, wondering of whom he spoke. And each of them said to himself, "Is it I? Is it I?" You see, after he made the example that was beneath his status, he then goes on to say, "One of you will betray me." You will paint me as something I'm not. Bear false witness and testimony of my character. And lie and project your own insecurities onto me for the world to see. Now, still, none of them knew. But John afterwards remembered that he gave first to Judas Iscariot. "What are you going to do? Do it quickly," Yahshua said to Judas. They thought Yahshua was telling Judas, who looked after their money, to go and buy the food they needed. Judas went out immediately, and it was night. So Yahshua made an example. He said, "I want people to learn from my mistake. If I have to bear it, then I want people to learn from it, so that in the future they don't make the same mistake. When they feel something and know something is so true, that they follow that." You see, want to be your confirmation that the divine is very, very real. I want to be your sign that God is here for you. When I was a child, my only escape was God. Quite literally. He was the only refuge I had. The only temple, the only safe place. The only one who cared. So I prayed night and day for 3 years for wisdom and understanding. Before I ever asked for a single toy, before I ever asked for a present from Santa Claus, I asked not to be naive. Because back then I couldn't differentiate my emotions from my thoughts. Do you know how confusing that is? Like, I had no idea how to determine what I was feeling from what I was thinking. And that was finding my way in darkness like that. I got really good, like really, really good at walking in the dark. Actually, a few years later, I started perfecting my senses. So I would not speak for like an entire month unless I absolutely had no other choice. I would put earbuds in so I wouldn't hear for an entire month unless I absolutely had no other choice. Now, when I got to sight, it was real difficult. I'm not even gonna hold you. So when I wasn't at school, this was before I started skateboarding. When I wasn't at school, I would walk around my house with my eyes closed for hours. Mom and Dad, my brothers would always be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm having fun." I wanted to perfect my senses because I believed, as hard as it was for me to differentiate from my emotions and my thoughts, that if I could perfect my senses, that I would become more like a Jedi. And that's what I had to look up to, because my father, he was a Star Wars fan. And we used to play fandom all the time, and we had this game of trivia, and I'd always win, and he'd be mind blown because I'd always win because I knew my stuff. Because I literally studied it. I mean, their whole thing is self-science. Like, that's what a Jedi is. They're actually called Magi's, but they studied self-science down to the letter, literally martial arts and everything, combat, whole 9 yards. They protected the Pharaoh, the king. The king had studied the same art to become king. Ain't that coincidence? But yeah, I really looked up to it because the lightsabers, it's right there, They use light to fight. Had me sold. A1 sauce, let's go, buddy. I'm ready to take out me some Darksiders. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. But, you know, I grew up and I fell to the dark side and I liked it a lot. And then I came back to the dark side, or the light side, and I was like, you know what? I would rather be both. I would rather be evil and good. I would rather be pure of heart and your villain. Because I don't mind being the villain of your story. I'll be your villain. But you will respect me. And that's how I felt about it. You know? I got sick and tired of people walking all over me. You know, just because they took advantage of my kindness. Okay. Keep playing with a monster. I'll show you. Like, come on now. I've studied this stuff all my life. I know everything anyone can throw at me. I've seen it all before. And there's nothing that anyone can do that's new. Not at all. So if you think for a second, I don't know what you're going to do before you do it, you're lying to yourself. But I digress. You see, true balance, true holiness, true ascendance is embracing your shadow and your light side. You see, narcissists can't embrace their shadows. They can't stand criticism. They can't tell the truth. They're also major gaslighters and never follow through. And I ain't never met anybody who could talk and walk like me. You know, and that's just me. Except for the people I grew up with. People I grew up with, I know y'all talk and walk with me, you know what I'm saying? I left them no choice though. I was like, oh, you ain't talking what you want, but we sparring right now and I'm punching you. I'm gonna kick you in your face. They know it's true, I kicked everybody, I'm not kidding. Everybody got punched, everybody got kicked, you know, it is, you know, it was what it was. But, you know, I sharpened the tools that were there, you know. I sharpened the minds, I sharpened everything I could, you know. I put them in the forge, I turned it up to 9,000, I melted away the impurities, made brand new war machines. You know, the kingdom of God needs an army. And who else? You know, who else better than to, you know, help out than good old Nick from down the street. But yeah, you know, when I was growing up, I was offered no help whatsoever. No encouragement. Like, no one helped me up. No one showed me. You know? Like, I got advice, don't get me wrong, because I remember driving around with my grandpa always telling me, you know, going to college and getting a good job is the best way to go about it. I'm like, Grandpa, like, you know as well as I do, I'm not hearing none of that right now. Do you see where you just picked me up at? Like, I had a whole gang that was sad because I had to go. You know, but it was what it was. You know, and he knew too, but he had to do his due diligence, you know, and his emperor status, you know, when the best advice you can give to a youngster at that age is, look, man, you're going to look back on this when you grow up. When you get my age, and you're going to be like, dang, I should listen to Grandpa. But look at me now, Grams. I ain't saying that. I'm just kidding. Don't hit me with a potato at Thanksgiving. You know, I just want you to follow your heart. You know, because that was the mistake I made. Like, I didn't follow my heart at first. Like, I let a lot of things distract me. I mean, maybe I truly believe it was divinely orchestrated that way, though, because I wasn't fully developed. I wasn't fully ready, you know, to even give my heart away, let alone follow it, you know. So whatever happened was either meant to happen or happened because God allowed it to happen. You know, all the black magic and manipulation and blockages and, you know, just all the lies and deceits and the, you know, the torture, the slander, the, you know, character assassinations, the, you know, all that stuff was like meant to happen and to throw me off my path so that I could develop myself even more to the point where I stepped into a whole brand new energy 3 different times, leveling up, so that, you know, when I came back and, you know, was finally able to step back out of hermit and into the world single and abundant and fresh and new and just a new man, you know, that I would be, you know, 5 times better than the last time people saw me and 6 times better than the last time, you know, I looked in the mirror, you know. So I think that was God's, you know, I think that was God's plan, because I had went through, I mean, it was non-stop soul development, non-stop abuse from every direction, no matter where it came from, until, like, I took as much abuse as I could until I started putting up boundaries in every single way, you know, protecting every single body, which I call them bodies, you call them like chakras or, you know, whatever, but they're the same thing. And that matters. You know, we all have boundaries with our mental, we all have boundaries with our emotions, we have boundaries with our body, we have boundaries with our spirit, like, same stuff, buddy. But yeah, you know, people who have something to hide, you know, they get defensive. So their boundaries look very like panicky and anxiety in a negative way, and, you know, why are you looking at that stuff? There's stuff I don't want to tell you or see, or what's in there. You know how it looks, you know what I'm saying? You know, they're private for the wrong reasons, you know? You see, the people who are open books, you know, they ain't got nothing to hide, and they're private for the right reasons, you know? You see, many people say a lot of things, but you shouldn't give them power, because the moment they think that you're defending yourself against the things they say about you that they know is a whole load of crock, and that means you're willing to fight a lie when you shouldn't have to fight at all. Because and so if you're willing to fight a lie, you're insecure about something. That's the point. And then they keep doing it till they find out what it is. Because they just want the scoop. They want to blackmail you somehow. They want to make you look like you ain't all that in a bag of chips when you know you the shit. When you know you a boss. When you know you're a whole emperor, empress up in here. Whole goddess, whole god. You know, whole chosen being from the divine realm. They just want to tear you down because they didn't do the work. They didn't believe in themselves like you did. Don't let them do that. Don't give them the power. That's yours. Don't give them no clout. They don't even deserve a name drop. They don't deserve a mention, a like, a how do you do. I'm gonna hold the door open for you. No, I hope it hits you on the way out. Goodbye. That's how you should be. You treat me like that, I'll make you regret it. I'm not playing. But yeah. That's just because I respect myself. I love myself. Anybody treat me like that, they're boop. Gandhi. Get out of my life. I don't need you. You need me. That's just how I am. And that's how all the people I fuck with are. Because they know their value. I literally only talk to a handful of people. Literally. I have no friends. The more like they're higher than that. You know what I'm saying? They're higher than that. At least to me. You know, because I hold like certain statuses for certain, you know, people who operate the way I do. You know, like, you're on my level, okay, cool. Like, you are definitely more than a friend. Like, we're gonna take over the freaking world. You know, that's how I am. Like, we're gonna be gangsters. We're gonna run this. Like, you got my back, I got yours. Let's go. You know, let's build an empire kind of stuff. You know, that's just how I am, though. Like, that's just me. That's who I am. That's what I do. And I've always been that way. You know, you can, I don't, it's you know, it's whatever. But yeah. You know, let's move on. Today's card is Force. Wait, no, that's a 9. 9 of Swords. Cruelty. Yeah. I think that just explains it. I'm not even gonna go into it because that's enough. That's really enough. All right. Angelic realm, you ready? Father, guide me. Oh, no way. Confucius. Confucius will help you make a decision, overcome a moral dilemma, illuminate legal issues, increase your profit margin, enhance your love life. Confucius was a simple man who loved helping people live life to its fullest. A wonderful way to call upon him is to sit down with a cup of green tea, relax, take a few long breaths, and explain the nature of your problem. Then, ask for his wisdom and guidance. Be observant for the next few days. His assistance may show up in a variety of ways. You may notice a billboard or a headline in a newspaper, or may feel called to read a certain book. rest assured, he will come to your aid. And he looks like this. Confucius say, what? For real, that's what he looks like. He drew himself. He's pretty cool. Now it's time for the demonic realm. Father, guide me. There's no like, oh my goodness. No, that's a grimoire. Come on, man. Give me a... Let's do it again. Father, guide me. Alright, come on. Oh, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Where is one at? Oh, okay, here we go. Okay. Asmodeus, one of the principal demons in many cases of possession. Oh, jeez. That's crazy. That's nuts. Huh? Whether you believe or don't, it's always up for interpretation. I'll catch y'all later.